Welcome to RSN Trackside on the ROC Sports Network, Rochester's home for motorsports content. I'm Marty Czekala inside the Slide Job Studios. Kelvin LaPierre inside the Cowboys Nation Man Cave. And Kelvin, this is it's going to be a fun weekend, you and me, because in under 12 hours from now, you and I are going to be making a 12-hour road trip down to Bristol.
And welcome everyone to the ROC Sports Network Facebook page. Kelvin LaPierre and Marty Czekala from RSN Trackside. We have decided to make a surprise visit to Genesee Speedway once again. They got a Thursday night special. Grit Sportsman Series is in town. They got a big bonus coming up. I think it's $1,000 to win, but it should be a fun one. But first, I got to show you the main story, and it is the weather. It is hot, hot, hot. I got the cool towel out here. If you can see closely, 88 degrees and partly cloudy. This is going to mean the track's going to dry up a lot easier.
Yeah, the track will dry up a little bit quicker.
And welcome into the ROC Sports Network Facebook page here. We're at Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua, New York for a Saturday Spectacular. I'm Marty Czekala. Kelvin LaPierre working behind the camera for right now because we got a special guest for our pre-race scene setter, the voice of the Land of Legends Raceway. You may have seen him in the RSN Trackside chat room. Stephen Ovens. Steve-O, we got a good one tonight despite the fact that, no fans are in the stands.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about tonight.
No track points were on the line at Land of Legends Raceway Thursday night, just cash. In the Big Block Modified feature, defending Big Block Modified track champion and 7-time Super Dirt Car Series champion Matt Shepard returned to Canandaigua to take the checkered flag for the first time at the Land of Legends this year, pocketing $4 grand. At first, Shepard did not look like the car to beat. Points leader Larry White had the fastest car in the first half, and then a broken axle took him to the pits and out of contention. Eric Rudolph had a great car and put up a fight for the win with Shepard. As Shepard cruised to the bottom line of the track, Rudolph found a cushion upstairs and came close to taking the lead at various points. But every time he got door to door, a yellow came out. The final lap, Rudolph would do whatever it would take to win. In turn 2, up on the cushion, he went over the edge, putting him down to 4th and giving the win to Super Matt. Jimmy Phelps took 2nd while Billy Decker finished 3rd.
Fortunate to get to the front there. Just had trouble steering the car all night, and was pretty much stuck on the bottom, kind of putting around there, and Eric was rolling around the middle and top pretty good. And we were just fortunate to hang on, and thankful that we got the win, and it was a good night for us.
You thought that was the best race? Think again. The Sportsman feature had a finish that many fans will be talking about for a while. With 2 laps to go, Nick Guerry and Kyle Inman were side by side, and Inman had a lot of grip on the outside through the cushion. Out of turn 2, Guerry slipped on the bottom to give Inman the lead at the white flag, but it wasn't over yet. Inman overdrove turns 1 and 2, and Nick Guerry did not capitalize. Invader Matt Jancic made a pass from the basement to get by Guerry and Inman and take the win. Inman finished 2nd, Nick Guerry 3rd, who had the race in the bag with over a 2-second lead with 10 laps to go when a late race yellow came out.
Kyle Inman there rolled the outside, and we had a good car. We were really good on the bottom. I couldn't really hit my marks at 3 and 4 that good, and Kyle rolled the outside there, and I had already moved up a couple laps, I think, before that at 3 and 4, trying to find something to get by the 25 there, and I just never gave up. I guess that's what it comes down to, and that definitely it showed that we didn't give up.
The top was coming in there with like 10 to go, and it started feeling really good. The 1 and 2 got better and better, and then 3 and 4 better and better. And we just got up there on the restarts and got 4 or 5 of them around 3 and 4, and got around Jansen, got around Ware to take after taking the lead away. I was like, I got this. I just got to block off 1 and block off 3, and we're good to go. Yeah, unfortunately, I look over going into 3, and Jansen's flying by me on the back straightaway, and it's kind of heartbreaking for sure, but it's a good run.
Yeah, I had a winning car, to be honest. The guys gave me an awesome car. They worked their butts off, and that was the car to win. I slipped up. Those restarts weren't so bad. I was hitting the bottom, and I seen Inman pop his nose out, and I thought we were going too slow into 1, and I missed the bottom off of 2 there. The tires on the bottom, the infield tires, are in a different spot than they usually are. We have some different tires down there, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, and I just missed the bottom off of 2, and Jancic capitalized, hit the bottom, drove away, and that's all she wrote.
Finally, in street stocks, Jimmy Grant led all 20 laps but played a lot of defense over Mike Welch for the win. Again, while no track points were on the line, this is a motivator for the driver of the 36, just 20 points behind championship leader Josh Pingrazio.
Oh yeah, that's what we come here every week to do, That's the point of this thing. That's why we work so hard. So if we can put a couple more of those in the bank and on double points night, I think we'll have a shot at them.
Land of Legends returns for a full card Saturday night at 7 p.m. I'm Marty Czekala for ROC Sports Network. I'm kind of curious, what's your take on Auto Club Speedway reconfiguring to a short track come 22?
That's a good question. Auto Club's been a cool place for a bigger track. I prefer short tracks are my favorite thing to do by far. Short track racing is the best, and road courses are awesome. But for a bigger racetrack, I don't typically prefer them. I wish we could run almost all short tracks and road courses. Auto Club's been a great racetrack, but the fact that they're doing that, I'm in full support of it. Not that the 2 mile track wasn't cool, because it has a lot of character, and it is one of the better big tracks that we go to by far. But still, the fact that it's going to be turned into a half-mile high bank short track looks like kind of a hybrid of Martinsville and Bristol. That's pretty cool. I can't really argue with that. And
fact of the matter is, I don't like it. I like California Speedway. I like the way it is. I think it's a really fun racetrack. I mean, I kind of understand the fan point of it, where it gets a little strung out. It gets a little extended, cars aren't up on top of each other and such and all of that. But, there's a good point to argue where there's really been some fantastic finishes there over the years. And being an old wore out surface, it gives itself an opportunity to, put on a good show or put on a good race with us drivers, but even,
there's always the nostalgia effect of, hey, especially because I've won at California Speedway. There's the nostalgia effect of, hey, I've won here before. Don't get rid of a track I've won at. And, you remember the moments, you remember Victory Lane and all that kind of good stuff. Then there was a part of me that said, another short track, that could be really, really cool. And I don't want to say I'm indifferent, because I'm not indifferent about it. I'm just kind of like, I want to see how it plays out, It's like I'm watching a soap opera, and I want to see what the next line in the part of the plot is, as it develops.
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit sad, I guess. I really enjoyed California Speedway. Great racetrack. I feel like the older it's gotten, the more fun it was to drive and to race on. So I'm a little bit disappointed from that standpoint, but anytime there's a new track, there's excitement, and it'll be cool to see what they come up with.
Yeah, it's super interesting for sure. I think, much like everybody, I enjoy short track racing, and I think it's a good thing. I don't see any negatives to it. Certainly that racetrack was old and abrasive, and I don't know if I think it might have been the oldest asphalt surface on the tour, or one of, for sure. But nonetheless, I don't see any negatives to it. I think short track racing is a plus. I think we need more of it. I thought Fontana was a good track, one of the better, bigger 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks that we go to. So, you can kind of look at that and find a thing to complain about, but I feel like we all do enough complaining as is. So yeah, I think it's great. And ultimately, I think the bigger picture thing we should all be really excited about is leadership at NASCAR is actually doing something different nowadays, and it's becoming a trend, and it's really been a trend all year. So I think instead of finding the negatives and some of the things that they're doing, I think we should all be super excited that they're actually changing and doing some things different, have some different ideas, and they're putting them to work. That's something that I don't think has happened probably ever until right now. So just excited to see them trying different things. And hey, if something works out or it doesn't, I think we should, like I said, be excited that we're trying them. And I think that'll be a great addition to our schedule.
Those were some of the drivers' takes as we welcome you back to RSN Trackside, powered by Lattimore Physical Therapy, on Auto Club Speedway being reconfigured to a half-mile short track, and that's what kicks off the headlines for us.
Hey everyone, it's Marty from RSN Trackside here. Hope everyone's doing well. Last Wednesday when we had our previous show, we reported the news how Patrick Emerling, the Orchard Park native, the two-time ROC Modified champion, would be making his Xfinity Series debut this coming weekend at Bristol. And now we are happy to have him on. He drives the number 02 Our Motorsports Chevrolet this weekend. Patrick, thank you for taking the time. How are you doing, my man?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. So I'll start off with this. Break down the deal for us with Our Motorsports. How did you guys pretty much get this signed for Bristol this coming weekend?
Yep. So Our Motorsports, Chris Sauer and Andy Seiss, and pretty much the whole team all pretty much consists of, pretty much everyone on the team has a passion for modifieds. They're from, we're all from the Northeast region. Modifieds is where it started for pretty much everybody on the whole team. Between the crew guys, Joe, the crew chief, Andy Seiss, and the team owner, Chris Sauer. So that's that's our first kind of connection there. As Chris Sauer used to own Our Motorsports, they used to field a wheel and modified tour car, the 22. There's several different drivers, including Mike Stefanik in the car, Tommy Barrett, and I believe Ted Christopher. So it's just been kind of like a long time, contact a little bit there. So we knew each other from there, and it's just something we were just kind of talking about. We were interested in. I was interested myself into, maybe getting into this kind of racing. So, then it just kind of came about. Then they have Brett Moffitt driving the car. He drove the car in all the races so far this season, and they had Bristol Open, so he wasn't going to run Bristol. So that's kind of where the opportunity came about.
Following up on that real quick, is this just a one race deal you guys are doing, or are you going to be doing some more races for them this season? It's one thing we're probably gonna take it. We're gonna get through this coming weekend, and then we're going to be something we're gonna discuss. Obviously, it comes down to a little bit of driver performance there. So it's just something. It's in the talks. There is a couple other races that are possibilities, but nothing set in stone right now. So coming to Bristol, it's a track that means a lot to you. You've won your lone NASCAR Wheel and Modified race there, and all except for one start you've had in the Wheel and Modifieds at the last Great Coliseum. You finished inside the top 10 every race except for one time there. So what does this mean a lot to you that your first Xfinity start will be at Bristol?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty huge. So Bristol has always been one of my better tracks. It's also one of my favorite tracks, and it's one track I was just, I just liked running the track. I mean, it's really, balls to the wall. In the modified, you're almost flat footing the track, so almost flat footing around there. So it's the one track that we race on that it's just like super exhilarating. It's an adrenaline rush just to drive on. So a lot of these tracks, even Loudon, New Hampshire, and pretty much any short track we run, you go out and practice, and you're just trying to get the most out of the car, and it's the you want to go as fast as you can, and in practice. And at Bristol, the track is so fast, you're carrying the throttle so deep into the corner, where it's just a total rush, and it takes you a couple laps to actually get used to doing that, because flat footing, a car into the corner going about, we average 130 there on that half mile. So carrying your car into the corner going 130, 140 plus, while still, staying flat on the gas, getting into the corner like that is something that just takes a little bit of, say, getting used to. Even for the modified, it takes it's quite different, pretty counterintuitive compared to other racetracks, and it's just a rush to drive around there, and let alone racing. It's just a good time.
How have you been preparing for your first Xfinity race, especially where in the early stages of the tough times we are in right now, where NASCAR has banned testing and the motion simulators that manufacturers have?
So, I've been kind of just looking at all angles possible, talking to people, talking different drivers and different people about what to do there. I've been practicing on iRacing, watching videos. I mean, pretty much everything. Pretty much everything you can do is what I've been doing to try to prepare for it, because that's the one thing about that deal that's about running there. It's making me a little bit nervous is that there's no practice, right? So no practice, no qualifying. So the first time I'm gonna drive the track is when the green flag drops for the race. So that's gonna be, so that's the one thing that was making me a little bit nervous there. Just, my plan is just to kind of just take it easy, kind of just race it out a little bit, just kind of, just take it easy, make some laps, kind of get used to the car, get used to the track, on that car, with that car. And it should be, I think it should be okay for us, but it's going to be a really big learning curve for me. And driving, a heavier car, I kind of have an idea of what the differences will be, with a couple of them truck starts that I had. I kind of have a good idea of what to expect, but it's still, different car, never been in the car. At a super wild track such as Bristol, so it's just something that I'm trying to look at it from all angles I can, and trying to just obviously our goal for the race would be to finish. So
all right, so actually you mentioned your first lap you're going to take in the O2 will be when you take the green flag. It was actually kind of my next question. Have you pretty much, or actually I should say, have you ever had to deal with a weekend or a race day where there's no practice or qualifying coming in? It's just race only?
The only time I did anything remotely close to that concept would be, at the dirt track. So, we would race Freedom. We'd go down Freedom. I'd loaded up the car at my house at 6:30 at night, go down there at 7. They're at 7, unload the car and go straight out for the heat races and just start racing. But that's a whole different kind of ball game there, because in that situation, the setup of the car isn't as crucial, and you can just go out there and hammer down no matter what your car is handling like. You're going to be able to drive the car. Where on asphalt, if you have a car that's off, in some cases it can be next to undrivable, right? So there's going to be cars going out in the first lap of the race, smacking their splitters against the ground, at that level. So it's just something, a lot of homework behind the scenes that's going to definitely need to be done. So for a lot of teams to, hit it right off the truck.
Talking with Patrick Emerling from Orchard Park, New York. Patrick's making his Xfinity Series debut this weekend at Bristol. Patrick, I want to move over now to your 07 modified. We learned a few days ago that Myrtle Beach will be opening up the Whelen Modified Tour on May 30th. Do you plan on running the full tour this season? And also, how many races will you be running outside of the home track schedule, especially on the local side here in Western New York?
Yes, so our plan starting, for this season was to run the full Whelen Modified Tour and compete for the point standings and compete for the championship, and that was going to be our goal. And and unfortunately, so that race, it's just on Friday it became official, and before that, a few days before that, it was just a rumor. And so and then this, running the O2 there, Xfinity car, that came about the week prior, more so. But it's been in talks for a long time, but the deal was kind of solidified, early last week. So Myrtle Beach was just a rumor then. So it kind of, it's kind of a bummer not being able to run the first modified race of the year. And we're not going to be running for points now in the Whelen Modified Tour because of that, because there's a lot of, even when I heard the Myrtle Beach rumor, it was there was speculation on it being not a non-points race, and that wasn't the case. So it's that's a bummer for us there, because we really wanted to, we were putting in with the modified. We were planning putting a way better effort in than we did in, more of an effort than years past. So it's something that, we wanted to do, but, this opportunity came about, and we're kind of sticking to that.
Last year,
go ahead. Local racing. And then, we had a plan to run the ROC tour and, other modified races when we can. And, and this season for us is, we're going to see what happens, with the COVID-19 virus. And if we're going to get back racing in New York anytime, there's speculation on whether we are or aren't going to get back to racing locally in the Western New York area. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed there.
On the Wheeling Modified Tour last season, you won the All-Star Shootout in New Hampshire. I've witnessed the Modifieds run in person before in Loudon in 2016. You guys provide some spectacular racing there every year. Tell us a little bit more of what that was like winning that All-Star race.
Yeah, that was Loudon, I think, is a track that we showed up there. That's one of my better tracks, and we always had fast cars there, and there was a couple times where I thought we should have been, there's a couple races there I think we should have won, and that I think we were in the running, and we just weren't able to capitalize on it, especially the 2018 Musket 250. We just got edged right across the finish line when we were leading, coming out of coming out of 4 there, and we just were edged just going across the finish line. So we feel that's a track that, that's just a track we really want to win at, and it's and winning the All-Star shootout, that helped definitely. We had an awesome car that day, and we got wrecked leading the following day, in the bump draft down the straightaway, where we were passing for the lead there. So we had some good cars there, and I think it's it's just a track that we just need to capitalize on a little bit better, and which I think we were going to this year. But still, it's one of them tracks where you don't know what the results are going to be till the last lap, and obviously it's one of the more exciting. That's why it's one of the more exciting races to run.
Wrapping up our conversation with Patrick Emerling. Patrick, final question for you, going back to the Xfinity Series. Obviously, with the pandemic and the social distancing practices as well, Bristol won't be able to be run without any fans in the grandstands. What is it going to feel like, pretty much, racing without the fans who pretty much make racing the way it is today?
Yeah, so that's going to be, there's going to be a lot less people in the pits as well. The crew I think are limited to 8 people with the crews, and I don't think the drivers are even allowed to show up at the racetrack till 4 hours before the race. And then there's going to be a lot of, I don't even know, but there's going to be what they are specifically, but there's going to be a lot of little rules and stipulations that we're going to have to follow as a team there. And I guess since I never I don't think I raced a race without fans, so that's definitely going to be pretty interesting for us.
Well, Patrick, we definitely appreciate the time with you today here on RSN Trackside. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we're wishing you the best of luck this weekend in your Xfinity debut.
Thank you. You as well.
Patrick is driving the 02-hour Motorsports Chevy. You can catch him this Saturday at 3:30 on FS1 in the Cheddar's 300 at Bristol.